Have you heard there's a guy that got struck by lightning 7 times and lived to tell about it? Coming at you. Have you heard about Roy Sullivan? He's the unluckiest lucky man who ever lived. This Virginia park ranger holds the most shocking world record that you've never heard of or ever heard of, surviving 7 lightning strikes between 1942 and 1977. And I'm not talking about little static zaps. I mean full-on, sky-splitting, biblical lightning strikes. Picture this. Roy's just doing his job as a park ranger when, boom, lightning strike number 1 in 1942 burns off his big toenail. Most people would quit their outdoor job right there, but not Roy. He keeps working outdoors like nothing happened. Then lightning strikes again, and again, and again. The 4th strike in 1972 was pure chaos. It literally set his hair on fire. Roy had to grab a bucket of water and dump it on his own head to put himself out. Can you imagine explaining that to your spouse? Honey, I'm a little bit late for dinner because, well, my hair was on fire again. She might have understood by that time. By the time Roy got struck for the 7th time in 1977, park visitors were actually avoiding him during thunderstorms. Keep your distance, buddy. They thought he was cursed or something. But here's the beautiful irony. This man who survived 7 lightning strikes didn't die from lightning at all. He passed away peacefully in 1983 at the ripe old age of 71. Have you heard June 3rd is National Egg Day? And I've got news that's going to scramble your brain in the best way possible. You know that riddle that's been driving people crazy since the dawn of time? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, science actually has cracked this case. Turns out it's the chicken. Here's why. The specific genetic material that makes a chicken egg distinctly a chicken egg comes from the chicken itself. So while eggs in general existed long before chickens, the first true chicken egg could only come from a chicken. It's like asking, which came first, the iPhone or the iPhone box? The box needs the iPhone to exist first. Now, I know some of you are thinking, wait a minute, hold on. Where did that first chicken come from? Some believe in the theory of evolution. I choose to believe God made the first chickens. The point is, when we're talking about chicken eggs specifically, the chicken had to exist first to lay that very first genuine, 100% authentic chicken egg. Case closed. Move on. Pass the breakfast. Have you heard on June the 6th, 1844, something happened that would eventually lead to millions of people doing a very silly dance with their arms in the air? That's right. The YMCA was founded in London by a 22-year-old fabric store worker named George Williams. The original YMCA had absolutely nothing to do with fitness. George wasn't thinking about basketball courts or swimming pools. He was worried about young men falling into the temptations of the city. So he started what was basically a Bible study and a prayer group for guys his age. The first YMCA didn't even have a gym. No exercise equipment, no fitness classes, nothing. They were all about saving souls, not building muscles. Physical fitness didn't get added until the 1880s when they realized that healthy bodies and healthy spirits went hand in hand. Fast forward to 1978, and the Village People released that iconic song, and suddenly everyone knows the YMCA dance. And come on, let's be honest, after President Trump brought it back during his rallies, that dance is more popular than ever. George Williams probably never imagined his prayer group would inspire a disco hit and presidential victory celebration. Have you heard June 4th, 1896? The day Henry Ford learned an important lesson about measuring twice and building once. This was the day that Ford took his very first car, the quadricycle, out for its maiden voyage through Detroit. But there was just one tiny problem. Old Henry had been so excited building his masterpiece in his workshop that he completely forgot to check if it would actually fit through the door. Picture this genius inventor finishing his revolutionary automobile, patting himself on the back. Oh, Henry, I've done it. Oh, boy. And then trying to drive it out only to discover it's too wide for the exits. Most people would disassemble the car and rebuild it outside. Not Henry Ford. At 2 o'clock in the morning, this man grabbed an axe and started demolishing his own brick wall. His neighbors thought he'd completely lost his mind, watching him knock down part of his workshop just to take a joyride around the block. But you know what? That improvised wall demolition became the world's first automotive drive-thru, though I doubt Ford was thinking about the historical significance while he was swinging that axe. Sometimes the best innovations come from the most embarrassing mistakes. Have you heard on June the 2nd, 1875, the day Alexander Graham Bell invented something that would eventually let your mom call you 3 times a day to ask if you're eating enough vegetables? That's right, the telephone got its patent on this day. But the very first words spoken on a telephone weren't some profound statement about connecting humanity. No, Bell had spilled acid on himself during an experiment and desperately called out, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." Good thing it really wasn't bad. He could have said something worse. The first phone call in history was basically a workplace accident report. And here's what's even funnier. Bell originally thought people should answer the phone by saying, "Ahoy!" like pirates. Let me try that again. "Ahoy!" like pirates greeting each other. Arr! Can you imagine if that had stuck? Instead of, "Hello, this is Sarah," we'd all be answering this with, "Ahoy there, matey." Thank goodness Thomas Edison suggested hello instead. And get this, the man who invented the telephone never had one in his own study because he found them too distracting. Have you heard? June the 5th is World Environment Day. And I got a nature fact that sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, but it's 100% real science. Ready? Yeah, go ahead. What? Trees can actually talk to each other. No. Yes. I'm not talking about mystical tree whispering. This is legitimate science. Trees communicate through underground fungal networks. Think of it as nature's internet. Just instead of cat videos and political arguments, trees are sharing nutrients and survival information. A mama tree can literally send nutrients to her struggling baby trees, warn the whole neighborhood about incoming insect attacks, and even recognize their own seedlings. Some of these forest networks have been connected for thousands of years. Imagine the conversations they've had. And that's all for today's edition of Have You Heard? These stories never get old, do they? Okay, some of them do. Please leave a comment if you learned something jaw-dropping. I'd love to hear from you. I'm Troy W. Hudson, the voiceover with personality. Until next time, stay curious.